Hi, Will.
Hi, Janet. How are you?
This is Will P Wilson, and you and I both went to Florida to do some investigation on guardianships. And I got this book in the mail today, and it contains some of the people that were in our segment that we did down in Florida.
Yeah.
So tell me about your adventures in Florida.
Well, I will, and I'll proceed on that. I do want to mention that in the circumstances of like one of these defendants, Barbara Stone, you had mentioned that she was ordered to have you withdraw over 85 of your video archives, right?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to bring that up on the subject?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would a judge want evidence destroyed or taken down? One factor. Barbara's mentioned in this book, Barbara Stone. And I watched and filmed, and we'll probably do some more. I need funding and financing, though you can actually go to gofundme.com/alldaylife if you want to donate money. But anyway, this book, I'm glad. I'm not read it. I've just been apprised of it. I'm looking forward to it and reading about things because there's more that needs to be done in a circumstance where we have a legal system that's nothing legal at all. It's called an illegal system. I would call it a non-judicial system. We have not any form of real protection anymore. The crooks have taken over the entire ship, basically nationwide. I've watched an investigator tell me in the 1990s there was a financial management group here in Seattle that the doctor that was the anesthesiologist at Harvard, who was not a doctor, was not an anesthesiologist, was in over 350 operations acting as it. He was also the head of anesthesiology, but was not a doctor. Over 350 elderly people passed away under his supervision in anesthesiology, meaning they were murdered.
And what was his name?
Marathi, a man, Iranian CIA mafia, working with Mr. Michael S. Kunath, Karen Rennie, and Atkins, and his partner, Bruce Rennie, who were key to destroying my life and stealing over $90 million from me through their Bank of Rothschild-owned Not America. Now, that's another world. But see, we got all types of levels of thieves here in this country and scum. And by the way, Bruce Rennie's parents made 4 times more by financing Microsoft than Bill Gates and Paul Allen. Paul Allen both come from families tied to organized crime, by the way. So we see a state of Washington with counterfeit constitutions where the first one, which was the right one, the de jure, was basically taken down and destroyed by the same people that came in, killed over 8,000 people, took the titles to their land, became the timber barons and the so-called everybody else in charge here. And most people don't have a clue of a real history of Washington, or the people who call this state that they think it belongs to them. Like the crooks that stole
your trip to Florida.
Well, the trip to Florida was, Barbara Stone is under detainment, electronic detainment, in her little tiny apartment on the beach at a complex in north of Miami, that she was dealing with an aunt and a greedy brother, a lawyer, who were basically putting her mother in detainment at a elderly facility against her will. And Barbara was trying to get her out of there because they were trying to murder her. I'm sure they have by now. And the aunt and the brother were trying to steal the estate. And I sat in by accident filming when they didn't. I thought the camera was off. It still filmed anyway. And you wouldn't believe watching a judge even refer to her party life on the weekends. I got that on tape. The judge overseeing what was going on. And then for no reason, Barbara had done nothing. I watched when Barbara gets notified of the hearing at 10 o'clock in the morning by one of the people who works for the court when she had no previous warning, and yet she was supposed to have been there at 8. So they tell her at 10, 2 hours after the fact. She still gets down there before 11. I was with her. And she still gets in while the judge is still residing. Now, so they get her on being not adherent to the time schedule according to what they said, even though I watched this, got it on tape. Incredible corruption in the Dade County court system down in Miami. Unreal corruption. And that unreal is that when you watch these people so drunk with power, you know, a Nazi type woman that's actually the type of language out of her mouth, you ought to see this. If you go back and look at the records, go watch her if she's still residing, because she should be with handcuffs in some jail somewhere. And
so while you were down there,
and so Barbara got detained. She didn't know what to do. I couldn't stay any longer to see what was going on. I can only say that probably maybe this is covered in the book, but the fact is that when we have a system of infrastructure that's run by criminals, and they call themselves in control, You wonder how long will this go before we all become victims not only of their electronic warfare stuff, mind control, psychotronics, and that goes on. If you want to find out more, go to All Day Live, Ron Gilman. But what else are they using against us with no conscience, against all universal law, against the people of this country and the citizens?
And you do stories too on guardianship.
I do, and we have.
Abuse.
We have, and we've done quite a few. Janet, you've worked with me on that. We've done a lot, actually, from the standpoint of people who have been victims, getting their testimony. You know, I've covered a lot in the electronic targeting systems that are tied to neuroelectric banking, neuroeconomic banking technologies that are cloud computing, hired these companies that
multi-billion. And then tell us the name of your show.
All Day Live.
Your show is All Day Live, and how do people watch it?
Online at seattlecommunitymedia.org, or they can go to the archives at Mediacific, that's CIFIC.com, or they can just go on a Google search, All Day Live, or Mediacific, or Will P. Wilson. You can't help but not find the stuff. There's a YouTube. I've got over 100 one-hour documentaries in YouTube. And that we've covered a lot of this. We plan to cover more anyway. We're trying to realize that as the public's not waking up as soon as they should be, we need over 10,000, 15,000 new public access TV producers. We need them to show up and step forward to do this. 3,700 public access groups across North America. In Canada, we can broadcast federal copyrighted media. So I was thanked by Congress, 200 one-hour broadcasts. We're the only ones that they can use as federal copyrighted media for reference to help legislate, giving the freedom of the states to take control of cannabis and hemp in their jurisdictions. And it's a lot, it gets bigger, it's more, there's more power in this. You have the power by being a public access TV producer. Federal copywriting gives you the power of a federal marshal or more. You take control of courts, you can go in and create lobbying, legislation, and overrun them. Take back your country.
And you met Fran, too.
Yeah.
And tell me about your meeting with Fran.
Fran, I'm trying to think of Fran. Fran was
in Barbara's house, and you drove her to that meeting.
I drove her to go see if she could go see her paraplegic son, who was railroaded out of her control. She was a psychiatric nurse, had her own psychiatric retirement facility for convalescent people, and she found out how corrupt the system is when they actually took her own son. Tied into the corrupt police in northern Florida, it was unreal. And what I saw was that these people are running an organized crime scam that's unbelievable. Oh no.
Yeah, and so her son died last year.
No.
Yeah, and she never got a chance to see him.
Oh, Janet.
But at least you tried to help her. At least you went down to Florida and you tried to help her.
Oh.
Yeah.
They killed him.
Yeah. But it's
they take life insurance policies out on their victims. You don't know that, but now you do. They take life insurance policies out. If they're going to target you, you have no idea what's going on. Ties into the courts,
and
to the
Fran's
banks.
in the book too.
Yeah.
And so it's nice that you're advertising this book.
Yes.
And so you just gave us a little information about the book.
I know you're not going to remember half of 1/5 of what I just told you, because I tried to tell a lot too much and too quickly. I know it's hard for people to understand. If you want to, once if this is online on TV, just backtrack and catch up a few things. I'm not saying anything of real in-depth anything. I have been a target, an extreme target.
But thank you, Will P. Wilson, for being on the show.
Okay, and
my show is called Public Interest Issues.
Janet O'Brien, you can go see Janet on my shows as well. She's helped me do over 12 years of broadcasting. And if you want another book as well, I just published, we've got many on the way, to learn about the scam of medicine, meaning they probably take out...
And this is your book that you published.
With Dr. William B. Mount, Keith Younghammer, and Pat Shue. And this is only one of 200 books I've been involved with publishing.
And tell me a little bit about the book you published. It's called Cures.
Well, this book right here, Cures, is about how you've been lied to by a Rockefeller Rothschild-owned medical system that's out to murder you. Diagnostic medicine's not going to cure you. They're only going to figure out what's wrong with you.
And how do people get this book?
You can go online. You can contact Keith Younghammer has hard copies. We've, as usual, they usually interrupt things like the books like this. So we had problems with the publisher, the publishing, everything else. But it's here anyway, and it's online.
They can find it online, and it's called Cures.
And they can get a hold of me at willpwilson@gmail.com, and I'll send you the link so you can get the book for free online.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
and
Will.
you can learn how to regenerate damaged tissue in 3 days, no matter what it is. I can learn how to cure cancer in 5 days, no matter what it is.
Thanks, Will. And thanks for telling us about both of these books.
Yeah. Yeah.
About the guardianship book and about your book.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Will, for being on my show, too.
You're a powerful ally, Janet. I hope we're going to get a lot more out. And wait till Janet comes up with the book soon. I'm sure she will. That's going to be something. I'll help her write it. It's going to happen.
Thanks, Will.
All Day Live people, watch it online if you want. There's a lot to happen, and we want more people publishing and producing TV. Help us do that. Federal copywriting. Let's take back this country.